Today I'm going to continue with day 2 of the oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. So in class, I'm going to take the dough out probably about 5 minutes before you enter the classroom, and you're going to unwrap your dough. I'm going to have it in foil also. And basically this is a drop cookie. With a drop cookie, usually what you do is you drop it from 2 spoons the same size. Now your recipe says to drop it onto an ungreased cookie sheet by teaspoonfuls. So these would be teaspoons, 2 teaspoons the same size. You could make them bigger by using 2 tablespoons, but of course that would add on to your time. However, because the dough is going to be cold when you come into class and we have to do it as a 2-day recipe, we actually just take it with our hands, okay? So what I'm going to do is you're going to have your hands washed like I just washed mine. Your hair will be up and you'll have your apron on. So we don't use the teaspoons. All you're really going to need is cookie sheets, a spatula, and cooling racks on day 2. So what you're going to do, you're going to notice that it is a little crumbly, and that's fine. You're going to take portion sizes. You're not rolling it. It's not a molded cookie. You're just going to take portions. And you want your cookie dough to be the same size, okay? Because you want your cookies to cook at the same rate. You want them all the same size because if you have a small cookie and a big cookie, the big cookie is going to be raw and the smaller cookie is going to end up getting overcooked or burned. So what I'm going to have you guys do is go 3 across and 4 down. So they're about the same size. I'm not rolling them. I'm just pressing the dough together because it does get a little crumbly. And with this recipe, before I put it in the oven, what you're going to do is you need to press the dough down gently, right? So just keep taking portions, and I believe in the recipe on day 2, I have everyone doing this portion of the recipe. So you want to make sure they are all the same size, okay? It's not about how many cookies you get, okay? It's about learning in class and then being able to make it at home, hopefully, for your family. These are one of my favorite cookies that we do make in the classroom. Okay, so I'm just kind of pushing it together. Any extra dough will be placed in the middle. Now these cookies don't spread that much, right? So again, I'm going to go 3 across and 4 down. And any extra, you're going to get 2 full trays. I've already made 1 tray up. I don't have a lot of time in class to show you this video clip. I may actually give it as a homework assignment, but we will see what happens this week in class. So you get like 20, anywhere from 20 to possibly 25 of these cookies. Okay, so basically they're about all the same size. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take portions. I have another tray that I've already made here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. So I have 2 full trays at this point. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop any extra in the middle. Now in class, I do know I have these smaller trays. I may be able to give you bigger trays on the day that we do it in class. But we're going to see how it works out for me here. And this is about the same amount of cookies you should get. So you can see it is sticking, it is a little messy. Like I said, it's easier than using the spoons in class. If you were to do this at home, it would be really sticky at this point. You wouldn't have to refrigerate it, and you would have to use the spoons, all right? Just kind of pressing it together here. I already have my oven on 350 degrees. It's been preheated. So I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to pop another one in here. You can see it is crumbling a little bit on me. And I'm just going to try to squeeze one more in over here. As you can see, it is extremely messy. My son did not want to help me with this portion because he didn't want to get his hands dirty. Right, Stinker?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he doesn't want to get his hands dirty. He doesn't like to get his hands dirty. Okay, you continue to eat your dinner. He's over on the couch eating some tacos that Mommy made. Okay, so I'm going to wash my hands quickly. At least rinse them off. then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press them down slightly. I could have just did that, but they were just too sticky. So what you want to then do is just slightly push them down. What I use is 3 fingers on one hand, just slightly. You don't want to totally press it down, but you want to slightly push them down. And like I said, these should not spread into each other. So very lightly press them down. Again, I will be checking in class to make sure you press them down. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is, you can't see me, but I'm going to put oven mitts on over to the side here. And I'm going to pop them in my oven for about 5 to 6 minutes. And then what you need to do is you're going to actually switch and turn your trays halfway through your time. So the one that's on the bottom is going to go on the top, and the one on the top is going to go on the bottom, and then you're going to turn your trays. You're not flipping the cookies. Some students think they're flipping the cookies. No, you're just turning the trays, because if you leave the bottom one on the bottom the whole time, your bottom rack is going to burn. Right? So I'll show you when they come out in a few minutes. Okay, so now my timer is about to go off here. I have about 13 seconds. I'm going to show you what I mean by switching and turning the trays and the process of doing that. You want to be careful when you do this portion. You want to make sure you don't hit the cookies on the top of your ovens. And some students tend to hit while taking them out. So you're always going to open the door all the way. I'm going to turn my timer off. So remember, I said that you want the ones that are on the bottom on the top. So I have a counter here, and the ones on the top on the bottom. So what you're going to do is now actually turn the tray carefully. I'm going to put this on the bottom. I'm going to turn this and put this here. So I went 6 minutes, and I think I'm going to go 5 minutes here. Okay, you can always put more time on once they overcook. You can't take that away. So you can always add time. You can't take it away. So I'm going to put my timer for another 5 minutes, and then I'll check it from there, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so one batch of my cookies came out about a minute ago, and they're a nice golden color, but one of the biggest things with this recipe is they need to continue to cook about another 1 to 2 minutes on the hot cookie sheet, because they're continuing the baking process. They're golden. There's my other batch. One of my trays weren't quite ready, so I added another minute. So let me just quickly take them out. Put those ones over here. Okay, so when you do take them out of the oven, they're going to go right onto the table that you work on. You're going to wait the 1 to 2 minutes. Mine have been at least 1.5 to 2 minutes here. Then you're always going to make sure you have an oven mitt or a pot holder on the hand that doesn't have the spatula in your hand, because what happens is students go and to take the cookies off, and they automatically grab the cookie sheet that's moving and they burn their hand. So you always want to make sure that you have something on, for me, my left hand, because the spatula is in my right hand, right? And then they should come right off. You're going to put them on your cooling rack. If there's time in class, there should be, because with these cookies, they tend to fall right apart. They're nice and soft. I have a little bit of wax paper, a piece of wax paper underneath my cooling rack, and that's just for easy cleanup also. Right, so they should very nicely come off. They shouldn't stick. You have 1 stick of butter in there that actually helps too. And this spatula tends to work nicely. We're going to use this in class too. All right, so to keep the cookies nice and soft, I like my cookies to stay soft. I like to dip them in milk too. But what you do is you take a piece of bread, a half piece of bread, a full piece of bread, break it up, leave it full, and put it in your cookie jar with the cookies. And what happens is the moisture from the bread goes into your cookies and keeps your cookies soft, and the piece of bread goes stale, okay, which means you wouldn't be able to eat that piece of bread then, right? So this has been sitting here too. I'm going to move this over, and again, I have my left hand here, and I have a whole another cookie sheet, whoops, right here. It doesn't taste, it smells delicious. In a moment, I'll probably taste one too. The unfortunate thing about me doing this at home is that you're not going to get to taste the demo cookies. But remember, it's all about making it in class, learning how to measure, how to work with a team. some basic skills and life skills you'll have throughout your life. So it did make, let's see how many cookies it made. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16, 17, 19. I'm going to say close to 30 cookies. I didn't count exactly, but anywhere from 25 to 30 cookies here, depending on how many people are in your group. 3, 4, possibly 5 people in your group. You'll split them up, and of course, if there's any extra, you could always give to your teacher who taught you how to make oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. So again, oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. More raisins you can add. Is going to be a drop cookie, even though we didn't drop it off of a teaspoon. So hopefully you enjoy making these in class 2 as our second cookie in the lab unit. All right, enjoy.